Hey, Alana Heim of Prosperity Alignment, and I love supporting you with aligning who you are with what you want. So I had this thing come to mind as I was falling asleep the other day, and I thought I would share. All the world is a stage, right? So we've heard this quote, but it was really coming to mind because it's literal, it's practical, it's what's around us, it's everything is a stage. So with that in mind, what stage are you on? Not what stage are you in, but what stage are you on? What's your performance? What's your character? What's your role? When we look at human design, we sometimes look in this way. We can hold this perspective of seeing, depending on your type and your profile, different aspects that relate to being on stage, being behind the stage, being behind camera. But if you are the main character in your own movie, what is your movie? What's the title to your movie? Really, we sometimes can get lost in thinking that we're not really the main character in our own movie. And we're just lost in the flow of the screenplay, right? And we're so caught up in it that we forget the role that we're playing. And that means aligning with who you are and going for what you want. And maybe your character is meant to go after the big money, the big success. And maybe it feels like your movie is that you're still kind of in the struggle piece and you're not quite there and you don't have it. And maybe then it's like, I'll never get there. But what if you could change where the movie is at this point? What if you could change the story? All the world is a stage. If you look around, you're going to notice people stuck in their movie, stuck in their same story, maybe not making changes. Maybe it doesn't feel like it's the cinematic flair of some big storyline and amazing things miraculously happen. But what if they could? And what if you could change the trajectory that you're on right now? And the other piece that came up with this phrase that came to mind was also noticing the setting within the movie, right? If this is my movie, right, this is the set I have chosen, but it's part of the theatrics, it's part of the movie itself. There's things going on in the background, meaning what's going on in the world, what's going on in, let's just pick an industry, medical world, education world. When you start to look at it through the lens of you're watching a movie, it's all part of an act. It's all part of something bigger. And most of the time we don't recognize that we're just in this movie, allowing it to unfold, naturally progress, move forward. And sometimes it feels like we can't change the script. We can't change the background. We can't change the people in it. But you can. And at any point, you can. At any point, you can also realize there are other characters having their own once-in-a-lifetime movie play out. There are industries having their own movie play out. What if we could reach billions with a certain service or product? What if we could have all this money come in? Right? That's their movie. And if we aren't so aware and we're willing and we'll participate, we play right into their character that's needed in this particular setting. We play into it. All the world is a stage. Are you sitting back with popcorn enjoying the movie? Or are you fully immersed in the saga of the journey of the story, so attached to the characters? Or are you recognizing that you can be both in and out? You can be in it, but also sitting back and just watching it unravel, watching it unfold to see what happens next. Because when we're really attached to something, that's when our human emotions come up. And then we can feel disappointed, we can feel bitter, we can feel frustrated, angry, whatever it may be. But you're not locked into the story unless you choose to be. And I had a fascinating revelation through watching a podcast the other day. He was talking about splitting the timeline, meaning where you are right now. If I'm doing a remote energy session with you, there's a point where we're constantly changing which timeline we're on at this point. Where does the movie take us? Is it this way or that way? And when you're changing your story, you can change your health, your well-being, your wealth. You can assign or almost allow for all of the negative, toxic aspects to go on a certain timeline that you're not on, and allow your future self to continue on the most optimal, positive, organic matrix timeline. That's where we are. That's why sometimes it's hard to know for sure what is going to happen next in the world. But if you can pinpoint which timeline you are on, game changer. And what's fascinating is timelines kept coming up because there was that new End of Tomorrow, I think, movie on Amazon we watched. Timeline. Watching Loki on Disney Plus. Timeline. There are big things coming up and it just keeps showing up. And that's what happens for me. So I just wanted to bring this up. All the world is a stage. What is your stage? Where are you? Where's your trajectory on the timeline? The most optimal timeline for you. Are you on it? And if you're recognizing you're not, change it. Get back on the organic matrix timeline of being able to really move and shift, not just for yourself, but for humanity and for Mother Earth. For us all to recognize there's negative, toxic people in your way, in your life. Take them out of the movie. And that might be easier said than done, but recognize how you feel and where your intention is in this movie. And if it is not optimal and it is not supportive or sustainable or equitable, and you want more and you want better, do it for the good of all. There's a lot there to unpack and unwind, but I'm just going to leave that there because I never know how long these videos are, and I always want to make them short and sweet for you, and I just keep talking and sharing and giving more. So to take away, what's the movie? What's the title? What's the character that you are in your own movie? And then just recognize the stages that are set in this world and what movies are going on out there, which timeline you want to be on, and that you have and hold the power to be able to change your own timeline. Mwah. You are my family. Love you. Have a beautiful day.